Hello, my friends. Katie Day with the MOVEMETOTX Team here in Houston, Texas. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the housing market. I know one thing a lot of people are thinking is that they're concerned about the lack of inventory, rising prices, and the potential of forbearance ending for a lot of homeowners and a wave of foreclosures, resulting in a housing crisis. When the pandemic first started last March, many people feared that the market would be crushed under the pressure of a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. Instead, real estate had one of its best years ever. In Houston, we saw an 18.1% increase in the total dollar volume of sales in the city on a year-over-year basis, and an increase of 6.1% in the median home sales price. Home sales and prices were up substantially for the year, pretty much nationwide. 2020 was so strong that now many fear the market's exuberance mirrors that of the last housing boom, and as a result, we're headed for another crash. I've posted about this a lot, and I do have concerns with the lack of affordability and homes in the Houston market, and really nationally as well as forbearance programs running out, people running into issues with their payments, taxes they may need to sell, or maybe face foreclosure. But on a macro scale, there are many reasons why this market is nothing like 2008. So I wanted to talk about 6 ways in which we are in a better place than we were in the early 2000s. So number 1, mortgage standards. They are nothing like they were back then. During the housing bubble, it was definitely not difficult to get a mortgage. Today, it's tough to sometimes even qualify. Recently, the Urban Institute released their latest Housing Credit Availability Index, which measures the percentage of owner-occupied home purchase loans that are likely to default, that is, go unpaid for more than 90 days past their due date. A lower score indicates that lenders are unwilling to tolerate defaults and are imposing tighter lending standards, making it harder to get a loan. A higher score indicates that lenders are willing to tolerate defaults and are taking more risks, making it easier to get a loan. This index shows that lenders were comfortable taking on extremely high levels of risk during the housing boom of 2004 to 2006, and it reveals that today, the Housing Credit Availability Index is under 5%, which is the lowest it's been since the introduction of the index. The report explains that significant space remains to safely expand the credit box. If the current default risk was doubled across all channels, risk would still be well within the pre-crisis standard of 12.5% from 01 to 03 for the whole mortgage market. Number 2, prices and price appreciation. Prices aren't soaring out of control. This graph shows annual home price appreciation over the past 4 years compared to the 4 years leading up to the height of the housing bubble. Though price appreciation was quite strong last year, it's still nowhere near the rise in prices that preceded the crash. There's a stark difference between these 2 periods of time. Normal home price appreciation is about 3.8%, so while current appreciation is higher than historic norms, it's certainly not accelerating out of control as it did in the early 2000s. Number 3, homes. We do not have a surplus of homes on the market. We have a shortage. The month's supply of inventory needed to sustain a normal real estate market is approximately 6 months. Anything more than that is an overabundance and will cause prices to depreciate. Anything less than that is a shortage and will lead to continued appreciation. As this graph shows, there were too many homes for sale in 2007, and that caused prices to tumble. Right now, there's a shortage of inventory, which is causing an acceleration in home values. Number 4, new construction isn't making up the difference in inventory needed. Some may think that new construction may fill the void. However, if we compare today to right before the housing crash, we can see that an overabundance of newly built homes was a major challenge then, but it isn't now. We need more homes and we need builders to build them too. Number 5, homes aren't necessarily becoming too expensive to buy. The affordability formula has 3 components: the price of the home, wages earned, and the mortgage rate at the time. 15 years ago, prices were high, wages were low, and mortgage rates were over 6%. Today, while prices are high, wages have increased some, and the mortgage rate is about 3%. So that means that the average homeowner pays less of their monthly income toward their mortgage payment than they did back then. Mark Fleming, the chief economist for First American, explains that lower mortgage interest rates and rising incomes correspond with higher home prices as home buyers can afford to borrow and buy more. If housing is appropriately valued, house buying power should equal or outpace the median sales price of a home. Looking back at the pre-bubble years, housing prices exceeded house buying power in 2006, but today house buying power is nearly twice as high as the median sales price nationally. Number 6, people are equity rich but not tapped out. In the run-up to the housing bubble, homeowners were using their homes as a personal ATM machine. Many withdrew equity once it got built up, and they hopefully learned their lesson in the process. But prices have risen a lot over the past few years, leading to over 50% of homes in the country having greater than 50% equity, and owners have not been tapping into it like last time. This chart compares the equity withdrawal over the last 3 years compared to 05, 06, and 07. Homeowners have cashed out almost $500 billion less than before. During the crash, home values began to fall, and then sellers found themselves in a negative equity situation where the amount of the mortgage that they owed was more than the value of their home. So some people walked away from their homes, and that led to a wave of distressed property listings like foreclosures and short sales, which generally sell at a huge discount, thus lowering the values of homes in the area. With average home equity now standing at over $190,000, this should not happen today. At the end of the day, if you have any questions in regards to the housing market or what's happening here locally in Houston, please feel free to reach out, shoot me a DM or give me a call, shoot me a text. I'd be more than happy to discuss. I hope that you're having a great day, you're safe and well, and I'll talk to you soon.